everyone, and thanks for watching. For those of you who haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you can get videos as soon as they are released. Welcome to Issues by LC. I'm here because you're there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your immense support. We continue to live and we continue to learn. As human beings, we all want to have a good time. If you work hard, you want to party even harder. And vacation hardest, like I would always put it. But how much is having a good time, and what does having a good time entail? Our actions today will determine how our tomorrow will definitely be. How we live our lives, we might think that we are not accountable to anyone, and you would often hear people say, I'm not accountable to you, or it's none of your business. Guess what? Yeah, it's true. It's none of anybody's business how you live your life until when you run into problems. Then it becomes everyone's business, especially if the problems you run into have to do with you being unable to take care of yourself, and then you have maybe a loving family that cannot just watch you fall apart. Some don't care, and so they will just ditch you aside, and that's why we find people under the bridges, whether it's they're the reason and the architect for their misfortunes. People don't really care. The world is gradually becoming more and more modernized, and people are gradually becoming less and less impatient to deal with any kind of bull. It doesn't matter whether this bull and crap, as some might call it, is coming from the family or coming from a loved one. People don't just care this time. As long as they are unable to deal with it, they kick it to the curb, they might kick it to the system, or just abandon it to rot. What am I saying? It's okay to have a good time, but be responsible about the good time you are having. And what you might think you're having a good time or entails a good time is definitely not it, especially if it becomes detrimental to you in the future. Mind you, how we live today determines how our old age it's going to be. Reason why we need to take our health important. We need to take our mental health important. It's just because we can eat something, it doesn't mean that we should keep eating it or just eat it till it becomes destructive to our bodies. As we gradually age, we notice that there are certain foods when we eat, our body hurts, so we don't take it. We keep it aside just so that we can be healthy and not move around in pain. A lady, while in her 20s, 18, 20s, she started abusing drugs at a very early age. She came from a wealthy family, and as much as the family spoke, parents talked about it and told her, put your life together. Do something meaningful with your life. Stop abusing drugs. She wouldn't listen. All she cared about was having a good time. And what was this good time she was having? The good time she was having meant shooting up the cocaine, taking the ones that come through the vial, the needles, smoking up the weed, smoking whatever she needed to do. And she would just go out, party, drink, be gone for days and months. Nobody could keep track of where she was. Nobody knew where she was. She would just party around and come back, and all she wanted to do was have a good time. Not long, when this lady turned 40, in the process of having the good time, and because of the so much drugs she had abused while in her teen years, she lost her mind. Yeah, she just developed a mental disability. She just doesn't know where she is. She would just stand and poop on herself and now she became like an invalid. You meet her in the streets, she's messed up her body. She doesn't even know what is going on amongst her, in her head or around her. She's just lost. And so what did the family decide to do? The family had to grab her and put her under lock and key. And she, being inside the house, wondered why all the doors were locked. She would go to this door, it's locked. She goes to this door, it's locked. She even has a wonder guard or wonder whatever in her ankle, so that if she were to leave, then it will alarm maybe the family members wherever that they are, and they would come looking for her. But she was on the lock and key. And so one day she was trying everything to do and get out of the house, try to hold on to the doors and break the doors and everything. And the brother came around and she was like, "Why can't I leave the house? Why is every door locked?" She asked the brother, because you know, sometimes people who have a mental problem or who have lost their minds, from time to time the mind might come around and they snap in and out of it. So when she noticed that the doors are always locked and everything, she asked the brother why she can't get out. "Why can't I get out? Every door is locked." And I guess the brother had been looking for an opportunity to vent or to lay out his frustrations, but never really felt it was a good time, because maybe to him, talking to someone whose mind is not correct is just wasting time. But I guess that day when she asked the brother, "Why are all the doors locked and why can't I get out?" the brother just blotted out to her, "You can't get out because you are a mess to society." She said, "What did you say?" He repeated, "You can't get out because you are a mess to society." And it is like some relief left the brother. And then he turned and looked at her and then continued, because it's like he had been holding it up for so long that he needed to air it out, even if she didn't have an understanding of what he was saying. And of course, she didn't have an understanding of what he was saying, because like I said, the mind was off. But this man needed to tell her what I call a piece or one or two things. This is why he went on to tell her, this is why when you were young, we told you stop doing drugs, but you wouldn't listen. And today, this is what I have to deal with. We have to lock up doors because we do not want you moving around in the streets, pooping on yourself. We have to keep you here just because we love you as family. But when we told you have your life together, stop doing these drugs, you wouldn't listen. You just wanted a good time. A good time that has cost you and is costing everyone in this family, because we still have to deal with you because you are part of the family. There are many of us today who are a mess to society. There are many of us heading down the road to become a mess to society. We are living a life, and with all the warnings, don't drink, don't do drugs, stop the cocaine, don't steal, stop whatever you are doing that is not good. No, we are not listening. Stop the sleeping around. Stop having baby after baby that we can't take care of. There are many things that we do that make us end up to be a mess in society, especially when we do things like do these drugs that eventually make us lose our mind, and then people will have to call the shots of how and where we live, what we do. It is a horrible thing that you abuse drugs to the extent where it affects your mind, it affects your brain, and then you are not even up to 50 years or whatever, and you lose your mind such that you stand as a young, because when you're 40 to these days is the new 20, right? So you cannot even say that you are old when you're 50 years. So you are just starting life at between the ages of 40 and 50. That's still when you can actually say you're going to start your life in today's age. But if you have so abused drugs that at 40 to 50 you lose your mind, you don't have your mind with you because of the reckless way that you lived in your 20s, and it's just horrible. It's just horrible. And then not only that, because human beings are not an island, when you are like that, or you put yourself in that situation and you become a mess to society like that, you affect your family. Family members want to help people that, when you're sick, family will want to help you. But it's a different kind of pain when people look at you and know that you are in the position or situation where you are because of the bad choices you made, even when you were warned against those choices. Of course, if you fall sick, family wants to help, people want to, but not knowingly that this is because of the drugs she was taking. This is because of the cocaine and whatever she was shoot up. This is because things like that. When family members, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers have to deal with you because you willingly put yourself in a position to become a mess to society, and they have to deal with it in taking care of you, I put it to you, it's a different kind of pain. It's a different kind of pain. You needed to see the way this man talked. He needed to air it out. He needed to put it out there. Because he knew the sister had the option of making better choices, but she chose the wrong choices that made her to become a mess to society and a burden to family. And guess what? When they'll be tired of taking care of her, maybe in the house and unable to lock the doors, and they shove her to the next system. And you keep pushing like that. It's not a bad thing having a good time. But how much of a good time is a good time? And why must the good time we are wanting to have be such that it's detrimental to us in the future? If we must have a good time, let's make sure, if we must live and do whatever we want to do, party, let's be mindful and be careful and make sure that in having a good time, it does not make us to become a mess to society, either now or in the nearest future to come. Let's make better choices and make sure and understand that when we do not make good choices, we become a mess to society and a burden to our families. If our families will truly care for us, let it be something that we don't have a hand in. Yeah, sickness comes and stuff, but let it not be the kind of sickness where we are the architect of us. We are the reason we have such sickness. We are the reason we are under lock and key. We are the reason we are in prison. Let's just make better choices, because we have family, we have people who love us. You might move around and think nobody really cares, but yeah, there's always somebody who will love you. If it is not family, it will be another person. And so destroying your life, when we are living in a way, let's think of the people who love us, because our actions can hurt them. Because that was what was happening to this brother. He was so hurt because he felt that this sister of his could have done better choices so that she doesn't become such a burden to him at such a young age. It was so annoying to him. Let's make sure, dear people, that our actions do not make us to become a mess to society tomorrow or a burden to our families. Let's stay away from the drugs. Having a good time doesn't mean we must do drugs. There are many ways of having a good time, but not those that are detrimental or destructive to both to our bodies, soul, and spirit. To the young ones, to our children, please mind your actions. Mind your actions. Stay away from the drugs. When you go to college, when you leave the house, even though some of you are in the house and doing it, some of you do the drugs because you see your parents and you see the lives of your parents. It's bad because of the drugs. So take a different direction and do something else, something meaningful. You must not go down that route that makes you to become a mess to society. Let's rather become beneficial to our societies rather than become a mess. So let's be mindful of our actions, because our actions will directly determine if we will become good citizens or become a mess to society. It's always a choice. Thanks for watching.
I invite you to keep regular dates with me on my new series of Issues by Elsie on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
And thanks for joining me on this journey.